Right next to it.
Yes.
Okay.
So they went, what the heck? They went over and talked to the guys that live next door. And the next one guy says, "Holy shit, that's my ex-boss."
Frick. And when officers finally confront the attacker, they begin to believe they understand his motive, only to realize later that the truth may be something else entirely.
Did you know that there was video inside the house?
What?
There was video inside the house that you went into?
It's around 2:40 p.m. on the afternoon of August 26, 2023, and this officer is responding to a residence in Menominee, Wisconsin, after dispatch received a concerning report from one of the residents that someone has tried to burn down the house. But as he speaks with the residents, he soon realizes there's far more to this case than just an attempt at arson.
What's that?
Did you bring your fingerprint kit?
I have it in the back, yeah.
Well, this is one of the videos that they got.
The Internal Affairs report is 7 pages long. The first paragraph states that a routine inventory audit of a chemical storage locker at a municipal wastewater treatment facility revealed a discrepancy. A missing 1-gallon container of sodium hypochlorite. That is the official language. In plain English, a jug of industrial-grade bleach was gone. And the man who signed the logbook for it was about to explain the difference between a clerical error and a body count. Before we go deeper into what the documents actually show, make sure you're subscribed to Police Body Cam Legal Analysis, because we don't just cover the story. We follow the evidence. Here is the visual anchor for this entire case. Imagine a time card. A cheap, rectangular piece of card stock, stamped with an employee number and a clock time of 6:58 a.m. Now imagine that same time card sitting on a detective's desk, inside a clear plastic evidence bag, because that is what the prosecution would eventually call Exhibit 1. Not a weapon. Not a note. A time card. The punch in time placed him at the facility 2 hours before the alarm. The punch out time placed him at a gas station across town 90 minutes later. That little piece of paper is a map of intent. It doesn't just track his labor. It tracks his window of opportunity. And that window was wide enough to kill 10 people. The call came in at 9:14 a.m. Dispatch code for a hazardous materials complaint at a food processing plant on the south side. The facility had just opened for the morning shift. 31 employees were clocking in. The production line was running hot water for sanitation. That is when the first worker smelled something that shouldn't be there. A sweet, chemical odor drifting up from the floor drains. Not rotten. Not sewage, chlorine. Strong enough to make the eyes water. Within minutes, 6 people were coughing. 2 were vomiting. 1 man collapsed near the conveyor belt. The plant manager hit the emergency stop. The building was evacuated. The responding officers arrived to find 9 people sitting on the curb outside, all of them struggling to breathe. The 10th victim was already in an ambulance, an oxygen mask pressed to her face. The initial assumption was an industrial accident, a broken valve, a backflow issue. But the hazmat team found something else. The maintenance closet on the east side of the building had been opened. The lock was not broken. It had been keyed. Inside, on a steel shelf, was an empty plastic jug, and next to it a half-empty bottle of a common acid-based floor cleaner. The 2 chemicals had been mixed in a mop bucket. The resulting cloud of chlorine gas had been pulled directly into the building's ventilation system, the system that feeds the entire production floor. This was not a spill. This was a design. And the man responsible was already back at his post, wearing his uniform, logging his waste management rounds. The officers did not kick in a door. They walked through the front office of the water treatment facility and asked for Kevin Morris. He was 29 years old, a senior operator with 8 years on the job, a perfect attendance record, a picture of his family taped to the inside of his locker. When they told him they needed to talk about a missing chemical log, he didn't run. He didn't raise his voice. He just nodded and said, "Yeah." I was wondering when someone would notice that. That is the phrase that changes the room.
I was upset, essentially.
Okay.
Okay. What were you upset about?
What were you upset about? Can you explain a little bit more? 'Cause, I mean, a lot could have happened, right?
Girlfriend cheated on me with one of the guys.
Okay.
That's what I was upset about.
Okay.
So walk me through, because like I said, there's video inside it, right? I already kind of know, but I want to hear it from you. I want to hear the truth from you. Okay? Help yourself out a little bit and just try to walk me through what happened. Because you picked the wrong house, by the way. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know why.
Yeah, there's 2 apartments in that building.
Not because it is a confession, but because it is an opening. It tells the officers that this man has been waiting for someone to connect a line he already drew. He had not tried to hide the missing jug. He had just marked it as disposed of in routine maintenance. A normal entry, a normal signature. That is the horror of this case. The paperwork was perfect. It was the air inside the plant that was wrong. The detective set up a camera in an interview room. They read him his rights. He waived them. He sat back in the chair and spoke in a flat, even tone. He said he had been working double shifts for 3 months, that the plant manager had denied his vacation request 4 times, that his wife had filed for divorce 2 weeks earlier, and that the city had just approved a new chemical delivery contract that would eliminate his overtime. He said all of this without blinking, as if he was reading a report on someone else's life.
Happened, right?
Girlfriend cheated on me with one of the guys.
Okay.
That's what I was upset about.
Okay.
So walk me through, because like I said, there's video inside it, right? I already kind of know, but I want to hear it from you. I want to hear the truth from you. Okay? Help yourself out a little bit and just try to walk me through what happened. Because you picked the wrong house, by the way. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know why.
Yeah, there's 2 apartments in that building. Okay?
Oh. Okay.
So help, just walk me through what happened.
Then, he said the line that makes this case a thriller, not a workplace dispute. I just wanted to see if anyone would actually read the air quality reports. There it is. That is the ticking clock moment. Here is the rhetorical question that reframes everything. What happens when the person responsible for public safety decides that the public is the problem? Because that is what this was. A test run, a proof of concept. He had mixed the chemicals at a ratio he calculated to be dangerous, but not immediately fatal. He had timed it to the morning shift change. He had even clocked out early so he would be off-site when the first person collapsed. He didn't want to kill them. He wanted to watch them choke.
And then, yeah, I put a rag that was on the oven.
Okay. And what else?
And then turned it on.
Okay, what else did you put on the oven?
Like an aerosol can?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Why did you put it on the oven?
You said you're pissed off already, right?
Yeah.
But we're just trying to prove a point, try to...
And no one would have stopped him. Because he was the one who would have been called to fix it. The moral refrain of this case is simple. He was the system.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to tell you next, I want you to keep your hands on the handlebars of the scooter, okay? So you are going to be placed under arrest, okay? Okay. I don't think handcuffs right now because we still got to get you over to my car, okay? Okay. But we are going to have to search you and make sure you have no weapons or anything like that, okay? Okay. So keep your hands on the handlebar, and we're going to do our thing, okay?
Can I give them my keys?
Just hold tight. Yeah, we can take those.
Say that to yourself. He was the system. The person who was supposed to inspect the tanks, verify the seals, and sign the compliance forms was the same person who opened the valve. He was the system. And when the system decides to fail on purpose, there is no backup. There is no redundant safety protocol.
What if they were drunk and they didn't wake up right away? Now their house is fully engulfed, and that's when they wake up.
I wasn't intending to fully engulf the house, no.
A lot of people don't intend to do stuff that ends up happening, right?
Yeah.
But starting any sort of fire inside a residence?
Yeah, I understand I made a mistake, yeah.
Well, that's more than a mistake. Like I said, you could have killed 8 people.
Yeah.
There's actually more than that inside the house. But that's besides the point, okay?
And the wrong people. Like, it's not even people you're mad at.
There is only the thin line of a 911 call and the luck of which way the wind blows through a ventilation grate. The officers asked him why now. Why that day? He said it was because the air quality monitor had been replaced the week before. The old one had been faulty for years. The new one was digital. It sent real-time readings to a central server. He wanted to see if the new sensor would actually trigger the alarm before a human being did. It didn't. The first alarm came from a woman pressing the emergency stop button. The digital sensor had logged the chlorine spike, but the threshold was set too high. The system was designed to warn about acute exposure. It was not designed to care about the slow climb.
And the wrong people. Like, it's not even people you're mad at.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that was appropriate?
No, I think I got it now.
So why did you go inside that door? Was it because it was...
That's what I thought was the right door.
Okay.
I know it was...
How did you find out, like, the area that your buddy lived in?
The area.
Yeah, like, how did you know where his house was?
It was down, I think, like 2 houses. There's one other friend.
Did you tell your other friends what you were going to do?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Do you remember what time it was?
Definitely not.
What's that?
Definitely not, no.
You don't remember what time it was?
Do not remember the time.
Okay.
Were you drinking that night?
Yeah, a little bit.
That is the hard evidence. The data log from the new sensor. It showed a steady rise in chlorine concentration starting at 8:31 a.m. At 1844, the level exceeded the legal safe limit. At 1858, it passed the threshold for immediate respiratory distress. The first 911 call was at 9914. That is a 23-minute gap. 23 minutes in which a man with a clipboard and a key had already left the building. 23 minutes in which 10 people were breathing air that he had personally poisoned.
Definitely not.
What's that?
Definitely not, no.
You don't remember what time it was?
Do not remember the time.
Okay.
Were you drinking that night?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, what's a little bit?
After you're done drinking?
Yeah.
What's a little bit to you? Because a little bit to me and a little bit to you could be 2 completely different things.
Like, probably a lot, actually.
Okay. Like, what are we talking? A couple mixed drinks, case of beer?
Essentially that.
With the 20-year-old confessing, it may seem like the case is finally coming to a close. But later, the officer will realize that there was still one key person he has yet to speak with, and that conversation will completely twist the motive he has believed all along.
How did you do that, then?
This?
Yeah, did you...
The detective on the case later wrote a single line in his report that sums up the entire tragedy. The defendant did not need to break in. He had a key. He did not need to tamper with equipment. He had the training. He did not need to run. He had an alibi. The only thing he needed was for everyone else to trust him. And they did. He was the system. The unanswered question at the end of this case is not about guilt.
Entirely.
He was jealous, or he was mad that someone that lived here in this house cheated on, or like his girlfriend cheated on him with that person. That's what he told me.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, right. Because like I know that and that's you.
Yeah.
So then I don't know if she like had like a crush on you or something like that. He was mad that you guys are hanging out. Are you like?
I've known longer than
Are you like hanging out with him, like you guys are like a thing or?
No, we're just friends.
He pled guilty. It is not about motive. That was established through financial records and text messages showing his increasing desperation over lost hours. The unanswered question is about the other systems just like this one. The water plants, the power grids, the transportation hubs, the school ventilation units. How many of them rely on a single person with a key and a signature and the unspoken assumption that they will do no harm? And how many of those people are one double shift away from running the same experiment?
Okay. Couldn't tell you anything that you're going to appreciate right now. So I can be returning. The guy in the mobility scooter.
Yeah, I know who he is. He's
okay.
my front end, closing front end person. So.
Okay. Yeah. So unfortunately, he's going to be not returning this afternoon. So about all I can share at this point. So. All right.
Okay.
So sorry.
There is one specific document you should read. It is the Occupational Safety and Health Administration Inspection Report for this facility, filed 11 months before the incident. It is available through the OSHA public database. The report identifies 3 serious violations related to chemical storage and ventilation maintenance. The facility was fined. The fines were paid. The violations were closed. No one was ever retrained. The man who signed the corrective action plan was the same man who later opened the jug. So here is the question I want you to answer in the comments. Read the OSHA report. Find the section on hazard communication. Look at the corrective action date. Then ask yourself one thing. What is the actual distance between a violation being closed and a body bag being zipped? Because in this case, it was 407 days.
Strongest theory. Ultimately, the 20-year-old was charged with felony, second-degree recklessly endangering safety, misdemeanor, negligent handling of burning material, criminal trespass to dwelling, criminal damage to property. He was later released on a $5,000 cash bond, with conditions to have no contact with the targeted victim and their address. Eventually, he was found guilty.
If this breakdown of public records and legal evidence helped you see the story behind the headline, like this video, share it with someone who thinks workplace safety is boring. Subscribe to Police Bodycam Legal Analysis and turn on notifications. We don't just read the reports. We follow the chain of custody all the way to the truth.